Ben's friend. All right. We should be live. All good. All right. Loving the brand and the culture here. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. You have picked the best brand in the world. So it's hard not to love it when you have such an amazing product line and so much variation, so many to choose from. But it's a lot to learn. So make sure that you get certified and learn all the product as best you can. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot for sure, but it is, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. I'm confident of that. Okay. Mikhail, on a 24 EQS AMG lease in 12 months, can I pay it off and trade it in or pull ahead? You could. Don't pay it off. Just trade it in. You can do a pull ahead. You have a 5-payment waiver available to you right now. So you should take advantage of that if you feel so inclined. Best used Mercedes that has at least 250 horsepower and a bunch of ambient lighting under $35,000. Well, the 250 horsepower is a interesting cutoff because a lot of our 4-cylinder engines have 240 horsepower. But man, I don't know if you could find an older GLC 43. That'd be pretty hot. KC, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Seth McKinney, hey, what's going on, brother? How are you? Happy Friday. Does MB come with remote start or is that an option? Yes, the cars do come with remote start. That is done through your Mercedes app. So you get 6 months of that for free, and then it's a subscription after that if you want to continue using it. Slim, love you, Doug. You're a cool cat. I'm a broke Toyota guy, but would definitely buy a car from you. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. And look, Toyota, good cars. I'm going to, as Ash X Autos has asked me, I'm going to keep the Toyota name out of my mouth, though. I'm a Benz guy. I followed so quick. I love that. Thank you for following. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody who's hitting the screen, tapping the screen, hitting the thumbs up button. That helps me out a lot, and I do appreciate it. And, of course, if you're not a follower yet, would love and appreciate a follow. Seth is getting turned on to the Mercedes brand. I love that. Raj, anything you can share on MB using BMW engines in the near future? I don't know anything about it other than all of the various social media articles you all have read and copied me on. That is as much information as I have on the topic. So we shall see. It sounds like if it's true that it would be for logistical reasons, really. I mean, look, these type of partnerships do exist in the industry when it makes sense to do them. And if it makes sense to do it, then go for it. Let's go on. Let's see. James, I love your videos. Taught me more about the car industry than my actual training ever did. I love that, James. I love that. Thank you. Simba, every Mercedes-Benz now has the ability to start remote from your phone. It goes back, I think 2015 was the first year for that. Slim, I saw Toyota drama, and my comment had nothing to do with that. Oh, no. Yeah, the Toyota drama. That I got myself into a little battle with Toyota fans across the world because I just keep on saying to buy new ones instead of pre-owned ones. But that's the last that we're going to talk about it today. My dream is to own a GT. Nice. What are you wanted, 2-door or a 4-door? When do you expect to see the E53 wagon? Well, Alex, there's the possibility that we would see it by the end of this month, but I'm thinking more realistically it would be next month in September. I am extremely excited for the new E53 wagon. That is going to be just an absolute incredible car. Dowell Cooks, what's going on, brother? Thanks for being here. Love your videos. Everyone go follow Dowell and figure out how to make really cool recipes in just a few minutes. Jackie, no, not a slow day at all. This is just what I do. I hop on at the end of the day, come on, chit chat with everybody here, try to answer some questions. Hi, Dolly.
Hi. Are you filming?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right.
That is okay. What is close to the base E-Class leasing out for? You know what? Haven't run a E-Class lease in a little while, so I really am not confident enough to say. It also depends on where you live and how many miles you need. What's the best starter model to go with if I'm switching over to Mercedes? I like starting with a C-Class if you're open to a sedan. And if you need an SUV, then I would say GLB or GLC would be a great place to start. Do you prefer chit or chat? Chat. Gabriel, any incentives on GLE 450s? Right now the incentives are on those plug-in hybrids, right? We're working on getting the plug-in hybrids out the door. Eric, do any Mercedes have remote start on the actual key fob? No, it's all app-based. All app-based. David, I'm watching to see how things shake out on a G63 for next year when my i7 M60 lease is up. Are they finally getting reasonable? Yeah, the pre-owned G-Wagons are definitely normalizing a little bit. The 25s, now that they have a bit of a redesign and some new technology, are still going strong. Doug, you have new 25 C-Class models on your website, but all of them have 5,000 to 6,000 miles with those owners. Yeah, if you are under the new alternative section and they have miles, then those are demos. New car inventory, we do have some new C-Classes still that don't have miles on them, but the C-Class is a great car for our service department as a loaner car. Pierce, I want to know about the BMW G-Wagon coming out. I don't know anything about it other than I've heard that they are going to do it. They're going to do it. I don't know what it'll be. I don't know. They kind of said that once already. Didn't really turn out to be much of a G-Wagon competitor. So we will see. I don't know how you can really make something that would be similar to a G-Wagon. What's up?
You saw my email. So I left him a voicemail asking for detailed information. But as it sits right now with the tax fees and that, it's about a 12 swing.
Okay.
Now he does qualify for loyalty. Can you double the loyalty?
So it makes sense. It makes sense just to do. Did you talk to him?
I did not. I couldn't get him on the phone.
Well, let's talk to him first.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to do just remaining payments in the.
Remaining payments at the.
Oh yeah.
No, it doesn't. It's about the same.
It's about the same. Okay. Can I get an allocation for a Koenigsegg? Don't know. Never tried to do that.
Oh, Greenwich. Did you hit like Christmas?
Oz's wants to debate. Debate what? What are your thoughts on the GT63? I love it. 2-door, 4-door. I love them both, but.
I also left a message for him on that. We spoke about that.
Okay. Let's see. Hold up. I need to.
Play Christmas.
Yeah, buddy, you need to go focus on something else other than that.
I haven't.
Not really. Keep showing back up in here. All right. What kind of car do you drive? Right now, Becca, I'm driving a GLE 580 because we sold out of EQS SUVs. All right. Sending an email for Colin. I have an allocation available for a Koenigsegg Jesko if you'd like a Koenigsegg. Highline only. Okay. So somebody asked me that question on Facebook. Highline only on Instagram has an allocation if somebody wants a Koenigsegg. Justin, any word on the CLE 63? No word, unfortunately. As a long BMW guy, I find it hard to follow the Mercedes model numbers and tiers. Well, I think that people tend to say that about a brand they're not familiar with. It's actually pretty simple once you learn it, right? You just need to know the class of the car, which are the letters, and then the numbers are the engine, right? BMW, you have a number in some cases, a letter in some cases, and then more numbers after depending on what model it is. So, I mean, yeah, they're all a little confusing if you don't understand it. But how much do parts cost for what? Has anyone ordered a 2026 Maybach SL yet? Yes, we have a couple. Debate dealership versus online car dealership, keeping it friendly. Yeah, I have no problem with that. I mean, we could certainly set that up if you'd like to do it. You know, I would probably just invite you on the stream and do it that way. But I don't know, you and I, if you're an online dealership, you and I might be on the same side, right? I mean, we don't operate, we are a traditional car dealership, but we don't force people here, right? We do a lot of our business online if that's the way they want to do it. David, are shoppers coming in concerned about tariffs and pricing, or as a luxury brand, does it not come up much? It definitely comes up. I would say it comes up less now than it did a few months ago before we had any pricing on 2026 models. Now that we have pricing on most 2026 models, it's not coming up that much, which is interesting because some people in the industry keep arguing that things could change down the road, right? I don't really see that happening. I don't know that manufacturers are going to adjust MSRPs that they've already announced, but it could happen in the form of incentives or, otherwise. But it's been, I would say for the last month and a half, we haven't heard too much about it. I mean, for a while there, people were wondering, okay, if I were to get a 2026 model, what could that mean from a tariff perspective? But those conversations aren't really happening that much anymore. I mean, other than people are very curious what unannounced models will be priced at. And the answer to that is, I just don't know, right? Let's see, would you lease or finance a Ford Raptor? I don't really know what the lease programs are on the Ford Raptor, so I would have to look at that. I'd have to compare it to a purchase. Did you see AMG Jared talking smack about you? No. Was that recent? Philip, what do you think of the news of Mercedes moving away from luxury and going more down market? So I think that's just one video. That's one interpretation that has been circulating the web. Frankly, that I don't know where that came from. And I think that I don't want to call it clickbait, but I think that the video, whatever he was saying in there, definitely got a conversation going, but they're not going to be moving away from luxury. Okay. They might be focusing more on their core models versus like the super high end stuff, but that doesn't mean that it's suddenly not going to be a luxury brand, right? That's all Mercedes has ever been. So thoughts on the Genesis G70, Jordan? I think the Genesis has a really nice lineup of cars right now and SUVs. They're sharp. I give them credit where credit's due. Your fan club has completed the first stage of the club quest. Okay, I don't know what that is, but that's sweet. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for being in here. If everyone could make sure that you're hitting the thumbs up button, tapping the screen, doing all that fun stuff, I really appreciate that very much. Let's see, Arik, hey, Doug, work at Land Rover, corporate Land Rover have not agreed with social media. Yeah, look, I don't think any of the manufacturers really agree with it. I mean, they do and they don't, right? They like it and they don't like it all at the same time. So anything that it's just, you've got to be aware of what you're talking about, right? That's what it really comes down to. You've got to understand that you work for your dealership. You also work for the manufacturer that you represent, right? No, under eye filler. I don't even know what that is. I want a baby G-Wagon. Yeah, the baby G-Wagon. That means, hey, we're all excited for that whenever that day finally comes that it gets announced or that it gets revealed. That'll be a big deal. Do you think EVs will ever be on a similar depreciation level as gas? I do, Sean. Down the road, I think that will 100% happen, right? As soon as EVs are produced at volumes that meet the demand that they have, then you will see that happen. And remember that as we move further into the future and the infrastructure continues to get built out and people are more accepting of EVs, then yes, that will start to happen. But we're moving away from a period of time where they were overproduced because manufacturers felt like they had to now they are going to produce the amount necessary to satisfy demand. And also eventually technology will continue to improve, range will continue to get better, cost probably comes down. So yes, I do see them eventually depreciating much more in line with ICE vehicles. When can I afford my own G550? I'm coming to you. Oh, when I can. Nick, all right. I love it. Sounds like a plan. How good is the C300 and do you expect incentives soon? The C300 is a great car and it's a core model, so it always has good lease programs, right? I will leave it to you at that for sure, but it always has good lease programs for sure. What else is going on? With the EV incentives going away, will the C63S have a better resale value? I'm not sure, Nick. I mean, the C63 doesn't qualify for those incentives anyway because the battery pack is not big enough. Let's see. Why does Stellantis charge X amount of dollars for their lease, but then the last lease payment of every quarter, it's lower because they only adjust for sales tax quarterly? I have no idea. I've never heard of anything quite like that before. That sounds very interesting. Do you all deliver? Yeah, we work with SYC and Auto Logistics. They will deliver all of our cars right to you, right? So we do a ton of out-of-state business, and we are delivering cars all over the country every month. Hold up, please. Gonna take this. Okay, what is happening here? And yes. Sorry. All right. What does the process work with you or your team? I'm buying a hybrid call or email. So Rigo, best thing to do is go to the link in my bio, go there, and then click on the work with Doug Horner and team link, and then you'll go to our website. You can put your information in, and we can all start working on it. But it's much better to reach out that way. If you DM me, it may take me a little while to see it. So if you do it that way, then I've got my team behind me in the internet sales department and the sales department. They can start working on it, and then they bring me up to speed, and we all start working on it together. Does the CPO warranty cover everything that the factory warranty does? Yeah, it's an extension of the new car warranty. How many E63 wagons are getting made? Yeah, right now that doesn't exist. There is no E63 wagon currently. What's a close vehicle that Mercedes has to the BMW X7? Carhartt, that would be our GLS. Our GLS is our direct competitor to the X7. How much should a 2024 EQB lease be per month? Well, I don't know. I mean, that depends. It depends on how expensive the car is, where you live, how many miles a year you need, how much you're putting down. Those could be anywhere from probably $350 to $650 a month, somewhere in there, depending on how you structure it. Let's see, S63 incoming next week. Yes, you got an S63 coming in, Frank? It's great that you guys do out-of-state deals and make it so easy. The number of dealers I've run into that won't do out-of-state deals because they don't know how it is. It's stunning. Yeah. So look, not every dealership is willing to do out-of-state deals. Some, it might be too complicated. They might be worried about, selling out of their market. I get it. There's cases you can make for and against it. For us, we're trying to make it easy for everyone to buy a car from us, whether they are local or anywhere across the country. So that's why we do that. And we want to be a volume car dealer, and to be a luxury store that does high volume in the Midwest, you've got to sell all over the country, because Midwesterners generally are more conservative and they spend their money more conservatively, and they're more likely to drive an import or domestic car than they are a luxury car. So if we only sold locally, then we would really hold ourselves back into what it's possible for us to do here. Frank is from Bend, Sacramento. Very nice, Frank. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. What Mercedes do you drive? Right now I'm driving a GLE 580. I've been, prior to that, I was driving an EQS SUV for the last 3.5 years, but we sold out of those. And so we actually do have one 2026 that's coming in, and I probably will flip back into that. But I am waiting anxiously for the E53 wagons to land. That is going to be my next thing, because one, they're beautiful and I love wagons. Two, it's a plug-in hybrid that gets like 50, 60 miles of all electric range, which is perfect, right? So you run out of range, then it becomes a gas car, which is fantastic. But I think that, and we've never had an E53 wagon before, so it's just going to be incredible. I mean, the pictures look so good. I can't wait to see it. Doug, would you expect any new 2026 EQE 350s to be available? So 2020, you have a very small window for 2026 EQs, because production's getting paused on those. So I do have actually one EQE SUV in stock. It just got here. It has now been renamed the EQE 320, by the way, right? So it was the 350 prior. Now it's the 320. I do have one. And I've got one EQS 400 SUV, which they renamed the 450 400. And for anybody who didn't catch it, there was a really nice price reduction on both of those models, on EQE and EQS SUV. So those are considerably more affordable off the rip than they were before. Can I order a Night Series 680 at any Mercedes dealership? Are they hard to get? Yeah, you could request one from anywhere, but the bigger the store, the easier it will be to get one. What gas models lease the best? GLC, GLE, and C3. So the entry-level cars, GLA, GLB, CLA, and then C-Class. All right, gang, I am out of time, so I do need to hop off. I know this was another short one, but I do appreciate all of you being here. Have a fantastic weekend, and hope to see you all again real soon. Maybe we'll hop on tomorrow and do this again. Talk to you soon, guys.